Hello cave dwellers, it's that time of the month when I get to unbox all of the wonderful things that you've sent in, and there's so much on the table this month that I think we should just dive straight in if we're going to keep this video to any kind of watchable length. Let's clear the table and start opening the boxes. Okay, so what we've got here is a combination of things that you've sent in and things that I've been buying, because in light of building the new exhibition space and seeing all of the new shelving, it's prompted me to start buying games again. I haven't been collecting games for a long time. I know I'm going to be able to fill those shelves, but I've kind of used it as an excuse to go out and buy games. So there'll be a few games that I've bought here. This first parcel is from Chris Dawes. Not sure what it is, but thank you for sending it in, Chris. My trusty box opener. Oh wow, I can see immediately what this is. We have had one on the channel before, but it was on loan from the Swindon Museum of Computing. These are boxed, at least I hope it's in the box. Auric Atmos. Get a look at that on the overhead cam. On the shelf I've already got this, an Auric 1 computer, and the Atmos is very similar, but it's the follow-up machine. So it's great to be able to pair them up. No idea what kind of condition this is in. It says it's a 48K model, Auric Atmos. Should we have a quick look inside? I mean, it warrants an episode all of its own, but we've got to check it's in there. Wow, there's everything I could wish for in here. We've got the computer. We've got cables to connect to the Erebus, the SD card reader. We've got two of them. We've got the Welcome to Auric Atmos tape, and there's a SCART video cable there. Everything I could possibly want, assuming it works. And looks like there's a sticker missing from the front, so we could try and replace that, test it out, make sure it's working. Not today, of course, but what a lovely, lovely way to start today's unboxing. Thank you so much, Chris. This is a really generous donation. Off to a blinding start then. Thank you very much, Chris. I'll pop it on the floor because I don't want to knock it off the table while I'm opening other things. Let's go for the next box, something a bit smaller. And before we continue, I must say a quick thank you to PCBWay.com, our sponsor today, who not only offer PCB printing services, they now offer CNC and 3D printing services on their website, PCBWay.com. So not only can you get your PCB manufactured, you can get a 3D printed case to go with it and protect it, so you no longer have a card hanging out the back of your ZX Spectrum or your Commodore 64 that you're afraid might get knocked, might get shorted out, might get damaged. Get it all under one roof at PCBWay.com. We thank them for sponsoring us today, and now let's roll our sleeves up and get on with the show. Now, I did actually tear this one open because it came to my house instead of the cave. It came with a card. My goal is that you manage to get a kick from this. Love the new cave from C64 Woody. And he sent us the barbecue sauce last time. And what this is an acrylic print of a football game. Might even be Kevin Tom's Football Manager. England 4, West Germany 2 is the 1966 World Cup final, and I know exactly where I'm going to put that. I'm going to put it on my display here of football games next to the World Cup. There we go, the perfect place for it. I'll put your card with it as well. And I really appreciate everything that you do for the cave and your support. Thank you very much for sending that in. It's perfect over there. What have we got next? Now here's something quickly I meant to show you right at the start of the episode, but I've just spotted it over there. Last time we did an unboxing, I was very kindly sent the V4 Vampire standalone. And I sent it on to Stephen Jones, who makes the Checkmate cases. And he in turn has made this. This is a bracket, all machine tooled and painted black, on which the Vampire V4 sits. All of the ports are extended to the back, and then this goes in his Checkmate case. He promised he'd do it, and I think he's going to make this as an optional extra for other Vampire owners with his Checkmate and his Checkmate mini case. So that's perfect. As soon as my case arrives, which I backed on Kickstarter, I can just drop that in. Haven't voided the warranty on the Vampire because the case is still on. I think they get a bit funny if you start taking it out the case for some reason. And there we go, I can have my Checkmate Mini Vampire. Brilliant. Thank you for that, Stephen. Oh, this is a heavy one, and this is from Andrew Birch. So Andrew, thank you for sending this in. The edge of the box is split, so I can see exactly what this is. And he did say he was going to send them in. It is something I always love to receive, a big old box of magazines for the reading area that we're growing. And in this case, Acorn Electron magazines. Oh, that's a great cover. Can you see that? That's Spy v Spy on there. And there's also a note here. It says, "Hi Neil, here are the Electron user magazines I promised via Twitter. It will make me feel a little less guilty about charging you for some QL World magazines you bought off me on eBay. I'd never made the connection, but yeah, they're in the reading area as well. Always happy to pay for these things, but thank you so much for sending them in, Andy. It's very kind of you. Keep up the great work and look forward to maybe visiting the cave in the future. Yes, please do." The Acorn Electron you will probably see soon again on the channel. We've done a Trash to Treasure on it before, but I've got another one that needs to be refurbed, and we're working on that right now. So lovely selection of magazines. Dating back to January 1990 on that one. I didn't know they kept doing the Electron magazine quite that late. And then some from 87, 1984, that's more like when I'd expect to see it. But how about this? Get knitting on your Electron. Is that a demonstration you want to see on the channel? Neil knits with an 8-bit micro. I'm open to suggestions. Lovely addition to the reading corner. Thank you, Andy. Let's pop them safe over the side of the open boxes and grab the next thing. This just seems to be from eBay, so I'm guessing this is one of the things that I bought for myself. Let's see what it is. Yes, it is. A little treat. I didn't actually play this game back in the day. This is Mega Traveller 2 in a slightly dented box, but we'll try and fix that. Got some lovely tips on the last live stream, tips on how to restore boxes that had got dented like this using magnets.
And here's one that was properly crushed before I started, and now seems to be a lot better. Again, it's not perfect.
Really useful method. So I'll recreate those in an episode soon, because all of the games that I want to put on display, well, not all of them, but a lot of them need a bit of a clean and a bit of a spruce up to look in their best condition. So I think that would be well worth doing. Mega Traveller, it just always interested me as a game. One of those role-playing strategy games. Oh, the size of this map. Yeah, that's not making much sense to me right now, but I'm sure it's important to play the game. All of those sectors you can go and explore, perhaps. But yeah, a game that's always interested me, retailed at £24.99, not to be sniffed at back in the day, and it says it has enhanced graphics and superb animated sequences and 5 man-years of development. Wow, it's got to be worth a look sometime, hasn't it? Have any of you out there played this? If so, let me know. Am I missing out? Do I need to load it up pronto and give it a go? Next box. And this, I believe, is another eBay one. So another one that I've bought this month. I'm really excited to open these. Games that I either had and regretted selling or always wanted and never got round to buy. That's what I've been buying this month. Oh, and this is definitely one of those that I never got round to buying. I never got further than a playable demo of this, but you all know I'm a massive fan of flight sims. And this is a lovely copy of SU-27 Flanker, published by SSI. And this is a really fascinating one because not only was it a great game when it came out, what year was it here? 1995. The thing that really struck me was it was a really high resolution game. You can see the screenshots on the back here. It didn't try and chase texture mapping like a lot of flight sims of the day did. We were just progressing into texture mapping everything. And instead it went for high resolution, and it had shading, but it didn't really try to texture map everything. So it had that real authentic feel of, say, a 1980s military flight simulator like you used to see on the telly as a kid, and you always wanted to go on, but they cost multi-millions of pounds. This really looked like that, and it had the flight model to back it up. And if you've never heard of this, but you're a flight sim fan, the same team that made this went on to create DCS World, which is one of the most played and loved combat flight simulators right now that people play. So its heritage continues into the present day, and a wonderful team. Let's just have a quick look inside because it feels like it should have a weighty manual in there. It's on CD. There we go, that's what we like. Lists of different armaments, how to dive bomb. everything you really wanted to know. Quick look at the map, and you can see it's based on the Crimean Peninsula and the surrounding area. Definitely one. And I think, because, as I mentioned, the lack of reliance on texture maps, I think this will hold up pretty well today. And when you bought this, you got a free ticket to the Imperial War Museum. What a package. We'll put that over here with Mega Traveller. It says on the back here, so realistic, it should be a secret. It may be something I bought. It may be something Miss RMC bought and accidentally had delivered here. It has been known. Oh no, this is definitely for me. Oh, look at that. Still with the price tag on, £69.95 from WH Smith's Sinclair ZX81. Boxed. Lovely thing to put on display. We'll have a quick look inside. And there it is in there. I do have another ZX81, but I haven't tested that one. So we can test them together, check they're working, refurb them. They probably need some work to get the keyboard working, maybe the membrane, a little bit of nail polish. I know that's a popular fix on the red logo that gets faded. What's this here? It's a RAM pack. I think we might have a RAM pack included there. So that's really nice. And then we've also got just a loose ZX Spectrum in here. You can never have too many ZX Spectrums. This one says 16K on the bottom. And if that's the case, then it makes it quite an early example, because you had the choice of 16 or 48K Spectrums when they first came out. And then it was just 48K Spectrums from there on after. So it'll be worth opening this up and seeing what revision board we've got in there. And then a selection of games, some of which are for the ZX81. Heathrow Air Traffic Control from Hewson Consultants. They went on to do big things. I mean, look at that. That's some of the very earliest examples of ZX81 software. Only one way to find out. And look at that. Now that is a classic. 3D Monster Maze. Cited by some as one of the first examples of horror software. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch because it's a very basic maze, but you are being stalked by a dinosaur. So I can see why it would be considered like that. Oh, that's a nice tape as well. But that is a real classic and an absolute lovely addition to the software library here. Thank you. Oh, and I found a note in here. It says, Neil, ZX81 plus the ZX Spectrum 16K. So it's the 16K edition. On the unboxing video, I would like you to read out my name. Are you ready? Stuart Reynolds. Thank you very much, Stuart, for sending this in. That's Stuart Reynolds, if you didn't hear. The name that should be on everyone's lips, Stuart Reynolds. Thank you so much, Stuart, for sending this in. Really appreciated. And it will all have a place here in the cave and be on display for people to use and enjoy. And I'm going to really enjoy opening up that 16K to see what revision motherboard's in there, system board, and share it with you all on a future video. I hope you don't think me rude for rushing through the boxes today. We're going through them quite quickly. It's just that we've got so many to get through. Yes, I can see exactly what this is. These are things that I bought on eBay. A game that I had and loved, and a game that I always wanted. And they've been very nicely packaged. This is how you package a game. You put it in a box that's the right size, lots of bubble wrap, give it room to move around without getting damaged. Well done to this sender. And it is a lovely copy, shiny copy of Operation Stealth, also known as the Stealth Affair in the US. It was a James Bond branded game in the US, but not over here in the UK. This is how I remember it. Lovely Delphine Software adventure game. It was the follow-up to Future Wars, which you may also know. That's a really well-kept, good condition box. And oh, look at that, the games, the discs are even in little cellophane bags. I don't remember them coming in that when I bought them, so I think that's perhaps the seller just doing a really good job Oh, I'll be buying from you again. In fact, I'll put a link to your store in the video description, because when you send games this well, you deserve a shout out for sure. And not much of a manual, but there is this, which I remember so well. This is the copy protection system. This shiny piece of card. A black and white version of it would appear on the screen, and then you would be expected to identify a square and choose the colour. And some of the colours are so similar, it was almost impossible. The red and the pink, for example, they're practically the same colour. How are you supposed to identify those two? And yeah, I got it wrong so often, despite owning the game. One of those examples where owning a hooky copy was to your advantage, as it was so many times with these copy protection systems. Oh, I've just had massive nostalgia flicking through this manual. It's got these lovely drawings of an attaché case and a James Bond style watch and pen. It really is James Bond in everything but name, because that's how it was designed. They just had the name omitted over here. Such a great game. Oh, and it says coming soon, Cruise for a Corpse. That was the next game. Cruise for a Corpse, which used that rotoscoped style graphics to make a Poirot style murder mystery game. So that I'm really pleased to have in such great condition in the collection. Add that to the games corner there. And now this is one that I never had. Keef the Thief. Did any of you have this or play it? I understand it's quite well regarded. A Boy and His Lockpick by Andy Gavin and Jason Rubin. The dangerous adventures, daring exploits and delinquent behaviour of Keef the Thief. Oh, and this has got a hideous copy protection system as well. If we go in here, we've got black text on red paper. Really hard to read. I'm not sure it was any easier to read in my youth either. I can't blame old age for this. It's just a horrible copy protection system. These shelves are filling up pretty quickly in the exhibition space. Next box, let's pick something large again. Something that we restored very recently on the channel, and another one's come along. It's an Atari. It's not a 2600, it's a video computer system. So I don't know if that makes this an earlier model. It's a 6-switcher. There was a satisfying clunk the first time I pressed it, and now it's a bit floppier. But because we've restored one recently, with the help of Mark on the channel, he's going to have plenty of advice on helping me to restore this. Little bit of damage on the front there, a bit of plastic that snapped off. Oh, and that side, I think that's quite a common thing. I've got another one with bits missing there, so maybe we can 3D print a little replacement bit to go in there. But otherwise, looking good. Serial number 813,000. So that's the power supply. What else have we got here then? We've got this box. Oh, now this is really useful. Some joysticks to go with it. And I only had one until now. Now I've got 3. And this is interesting because the one we refurbished with Mark had white dots around the joystick. And these ones have orange, which matches the orange that goes around here, which, just like the one we refurbished recently, is missing. We had to touch that up and put the orange back on there. So this does confirm that the joystick should be orange, and I'm guessing the white ones came from a later model of Atari console. So now we've got the genuine article. Bit dirty. I'm happy to clean them up, take them apart, service them, restore the orange dots around there, and I think we can have a nicer example than Mark's by the time we've finished with this. Don't tell him. We'll do it on the sly, and then when he turns up with his Atari next time, we can have a better one. Thank you, Duncan. Oh, cartridges. Some really nice examples as well. We've got Pac-Man, we've got Mario Brothers, Moon Patrol and Battle Zone. More envelopes. It's really well packaged. Thank you, Duncan. Oh, and there's more cartridges. Defender, now that's a stone cold classic. And every system you play it on. Asteroids. And we've even got the manual for Asteroids. These things so commonly thrown away. It's such a common thing with console systems to throw away the boxes and the manuals, or they just get crushed because they were just piddly bits of cardboard. But here we go, we've got the manual for Asteroids. Put that with the games, and the final envelope is another cartridge. Space Invaders, and that's been put separate because the labels just come off the end there, so I'm sure we can stick that back on. So within the space of one box, I've got a classic Atari 2600 or VCS selection of games, 2 joysticks, everything I could want to enjoy that experience with an Atari VCS. Thank you so much, Duncan, very kind of you. We're having an amazing session so far. We've got the Auric Atmos, the Spectrums, the VCS. Wow. And there's still a huge power to get through. And it appears to be very nicely boxed. What is this? It looks to be MIDI-like. Got a power supply from a TP-Link router or modem. Oh, hello. I'm seeing the words Yamaha. Get a load of this. Oh, Colin. This is incredible. This is a Yamaha MU80 MIDI device, which will look lovely with my other MIDI devices. There's something about us retro collectors. I know that LGR is famous for his MIDI towers, and more recently he's been doing some incredible synth stuff. He's just built this amazing musical equipment and is making some good noises with it. And I think we're all lured to that same creative thing, that creative aspect of making music with these old computers and with devices. And getting hold of devices like this that we could never afford back in the day. These were in music studios, these cost a fortune. But now we can get hold of them for a slightly more reasonable price, although those prices are escalating again, and finally have a chance to play with them. So this came out in 1994. It says it's the first XG capable device, effects included, AD input for guitar or microphone. Effects can be applied to the AD input signal. Box is a metal chassis with a backlit LCD display. Right, so 94. This would be ripe for some mid-90s DOS gaming, wouldn't it? I wonder what Grab Bag from Duke Nukem sounds like coming through this. We'll find out. This will definitely be attached to a mid-90s PC in the exhibition space. Thank you so much, Colin. That's a really special thing. And it's a great thing to have in the collection. Thank you, Colin. Next up, it's a package from Jorg. And where's this come from? Germany. Let's see what's inside. And Jorg's included a postcard, and it's a man surrounded by bottles of beer. Now, I know I've just built an exhibition space that looks a bit like a pub. Okay, you've nailed it. That's exactly what it will look like here in the evenings when the cameras are off. I know. Here is the Sinclair game we talked about. Let's see what that is. I've added a copy of Targ Central City from Mercenary. I bought it way back then with my cousin. He got the original map. And this is a Hudson Soft game, which Hudson Soft you'll know a lot from the PC Engine. It's called Stop the Express. It looks like a man fighting with a phoenix on top of a train or something. I'm not quite sure what he's fighting. Your mission: to stop the express and capture the red men, your ally, the Snakebird. Okay. That's just how I remember the old Spakey games with those silver labels. Hudson Soft, 1983. That's nice. It mentions I've added a copy of Targ Central City from Mercenary. But that is not in the box. Oh, okay. Sorry, there's a bit of paper here that's come out. This is the map. There you go. That's what he added. Not the tape. He added the map of Central City from Mercenary. Such good memories of Mercenary. Whether it was on an 8-bit micro or the Amiga, like I played it on. Just one of my earliest experiences of open world gameplay. I really did enjoy that. Jorg, thank you. There goes the postcard there. I should have a wall really to put postcards and things. In fact, what I should do is I should encourage you to send with your donations your message on a postcard, and then I can have postcards from all around the world somewhere on the wall. I'm gonna try and encourage that. If you, not mandatory, of course, but if you're kind enough to send something in and you've got a postcard or something regional kicking around to write your message on them, please do, and we'll find a wall somewhere to compile them all. What have you been buying this time, Neil? I honestly can't remember. More magazines for the reading corner, and this time they are CDI magazine. They look to be in pretty good condition, and it's a real glossy magazine. Everything about the CDI was glossy, wasn't it? The production values of the games, the magazines, everything surrounding it, it was really Hollywood. Exclusive interview with 2 Unlimited. Who Shot Johnny Rock? I was just talking about that yesterday with Mean Machine Dean. It was the game that followed up Mad Dog McCree. And I had it on MS-DOS, and the footage was so grainy. I imagine it was way better on the CDI with an MPEG module. But yeah, look at these articles. This is a really glossy, no expense spared magazine. That's a nice cover. You know, I didn't know the Discworld adventure game came out on the CDI. Did it ever come out? Is this a preview or a review? No, it's a review. And it scores 92%. I've just read at the end of this review. Check this out. Although they've scored it 92%, at the time of going to press, the CDI version of Discworld was in the final beta testing stages of development. We therefore had to use the PC version of the game for the review. According to our sources, though, both versions play identically, the only difference occurring in the speed of the game as a whole and a few cutbacks in background animations on the CDI version. So they've reviewed the PC version and just assumed it will be as the CDI, same as the CDI. Naughty. I mean, it's very honest that they've shared that at the end of the review, but I'm going to have to go and look up now. Did it ever come out on the CDI and was it as good as the PC? I'm dubious. This one's from Ben Rattigan. The end is open, but I haven't had anything out of it. Multiple packages in here. These are all magazines. Too many magazines this month. And these are The Complete Spectrum. All you want to know about the world's best-selling computer, and that is part 1 in 6 monthly parts. I think we might have the whole collection here. There you go. I have got a complete magazine collection. Hey, you can't say that about many retro magazines. I'm guessing we've got some programming guides and that. Yeah, it's a bit like Input magazine. Learning how to program. Oh, it's a Sony Hitbit MSX computer. And a lovely example too. Speaking of MSXs, I've seen that Hoffman, the Amiga musician and demo maker and programmer extraordinaire, get a look at that. He's currently converting the MSX version of Metal Gear over to the Amiga computers, and he was on Amiga Bill's stream recently playing the beta version of the game. He hasn't finished it yet, but it's come along brilliantly. And I tell you what, if that came out back in the lifetime of the Amiga 500, it would have been a smash hit. And this is the computer it started on. And this is a really lovely example. I've had the Yamaha MSX on the channel before. We did the music making with that before. But this, oh, it's just a classic example, isn't it? I think we're missing a screw on one corner. And there's a screw here that's a bit too long. It's just created a bulge, but I think we can push that back in with a bit of heat. Otherwise, it looks to be nice. Well, that feels quite nice to type on. So that is one to go in the queue to open up, check out, make sure it's in good order, recap. Oh, it's got RGB SCAR output. So no modifications needed to get good output from this. What a nice machine. Thank you, Ben, for the machine and for the magazines. This is from Velociraptor Dave, and Dave is really naughty because when I was exploring eBay, buying these games, chatting about games I used to have in my youth, he was slyly doing the same on my behalf. And then one day he sent me a message saying, Neil, don't buy these because I bought them for you and I'm going to send them down to you. And there are two games, one that really defined my 90s PC ownership, which I can see on the top of the box there. Armageddon. Just a wonderful, wonderful game that is one of the earliest examples of games that I had that then got a 3DFX patch for 3D acceleration. You'll hear me rave about this game a lot because it's a great game without the 3D acceleration. But once you've got that 3D acceleration added, it's just took it to a whole nother level. And for a period, it was a game that no console could touch in my eyes. There was nothing that compared to it. And yeah, just a game that I had a huge amount of fun with. So thank you very much, Dave. Love having that back on the shelf again. And another one which I used to play an awful lot on my Amiga 500. Good old Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. This is the adventure game, not the action game. It came in two versions. And caution, contains blood-curdling graphics. Now I picked this up. Oh, we've got more copy protection. Now I picked this up back in the early 90s at an expo. I think I paid £8 for it, brand new at an expo. And I know on eBay, this is not cheap to get hold of. So Dave, you've gone above and beyond. You've been amazing, mate. Thank you very much for sending this in. And this is what the copy protection is all about. You've got the red screen to look through, and then you've got red text mixed in with other colours text here. And I don't know if you can see that through the camera. Probably not. I'll get you a close-up. And you can see you can make out the text there, different spells I think they are for the copy protection. Set yourself down in a darkened room on a late night. It's got a really eerie atmosphere. Use a hard disk installed version rather than one that's always loading from disk. You can install it from the disks onto your system. And there's just some chilling graphics and sound effects and a great story. And it's just, everyone should play this once. Go and give it a try. Thank you so much, Dave. Look at this collection of games we've got this month. Just brilliant. Oh, I love big box games. We've got 3 more to open. We're really getting through them now. This is, I think, another eBay purchase. Yes, it is. And this, you'll probably be able to see through the packaging already, complements the thing I think we opened first on this episode, which was Mega Traveller 2, Mega Traveller 1. So we need to start with that one before we get onto the second one. Lovely ring-bound manual in there. A very similar map to the first one. I can see, I don't know if it's set in the same place and time, but it looks similar. And an awful lot to read through before I can play it. And it's also promoting a game called Space 1889. Don't remember that one. Looks very H.G. Wells-like. So many hours of gameplay for me to enjoy, thanks to the Mega Traveller games. Just need to get the machine set up so I can actually play them in the exhibition space. One more big box. Let's open this massive box over here. What is this? Heavy duty suction cup lifter. Why? Well, am I going to go climbing up the walls with these? Well, we've got 2 suction cup lifters. Good. Are they needed for what's inside? There is a real mix of things in here. Still no idea who it's from. We've got a USB Super Nintendo pad. Useful. That will go nice in the mister when playing the Super Nintendo games for that authenticity. Well, this is useful for the cave. We've got a 36 light LED coloured light. We can light up some walls with that. It looks to be brand new. So I won't take it out yet because all the bits are securely in there. So yeah, that would be good. And we can mount it up high and maybe light up some of the machines. I'm actually looking for lights like this for the exhibition space to not spotlight, but just flood different coloured lights around the machines. So I'll try this one out. If it's suitable, I'll get more of the same. That's nice. Thank you. The G-Mark Aloha 2-piece telephone. Here's a box of cassette tapes. Even better, if I'm honest. I mean, who wants the G-Mark Aloha two-piece telephone? Not me, honest. We've got in here a big old collection of Zap mega tapes. So these are all cover tapes from Zap magazine. We've also got Commodore format. Oh look, there's Elvira again, just by coincidence. And that's Commodore format as well. So a Commodore owner here, sharing with me their old Commodore cover tapes. An old box of floppy disks, which are filled with a CD-ROM driver. More CD-ROM, all of the CD-ROM drivers, modem drivers. Toshiba companion diskette, power SCSI drivers. The plot thickens. This is an old Commodore owner who had SCSI devices and Apple devices, because we've got an Apple Ethernet adapter there. This is a real box of mystery. Some good things in here though. Oh, hello. Look what we've got in here. The Apple bits make sense now. We've got an Apple PowerBook G4 with a Leopard, OS X Leopard. And that is a very nice condition, PowerBook G4. Oh, it's weighty, it's solid. That is a nice feeling piece of design. Does it turn on? I expect it needs some charge, if indeed it works at all. Well, one to figure out. I don't have one of those in the collection, but what a beautiful thing that is. Whether you're an Apple fan or not, you've got to appreciate the design of some of their products. That is lovely. Let's put that safe. So, it's a Toshiba branded bag. Is that what we've got in here? Look at that, a little Toshiba CD-ROM drive. Oh, you must have been pretty swish to have owned that back in the day. No idea as to what speed it runs at, but it's a CD400A. So if I can find out, I'll pop on the screen some details about this, but that's a nice little portable thing. And then a Toshiba T4900 CT. It's worlds away from the sleek design of the PowerBook and years away from when it came out, let's be honest. These are not in the same category, but we've got a built-in floppy drive. Oh, we've got a little LCD display there. I imagine that shows you your battery life and things like that. No sign of power, but if there's even a battery in there, which I think there is there, it's probably dead long ago, so we'll have to plug it into the mains at least. And we've got it in the original executive bag. No expense spared. I can work from home now. A huge thank you for sending this in. There's you confused me at first with the suction cups, the suction cup lifters. Hey, I'll find a use for them, I'm sure. But just so much good stuff. I've spread it all over the place because there was so much of it. Right, in amongst this mess, I think there's one more parcel. Here it is. It's a tube, and it's come from Ireland, from Mr. Sweeney, who contacted me and told me what they had. And I said, yes, I would absolutely love these. You can probably guess what they are by the shape of the tube. This is a huge selection, far more than I was ever expecting, of posters from video games. And you can see a lot of them have got marks where they've had blue tack or double-sided sticky tape and they've been on walls. Just the very first one I opened there, Silent Service from Microprose. I don't remember seeing that back in the day. I mean, I know the game, but I don't remember seeing the posters for them. I want to get that framed straight away and up on the cave. I found a letter rolled in the second batch. It says, hi Neil, thanks for agreeing to give a new home to these game posters I've held on since the early 80s. So they are all the genuine article. In the summer of, I think, 1983, as a 13-year-old, I purchased my first computer, a Sinclair ZX Spectrum 16K, using money earned from my summer job, back when child labour wasn't frowned upon. After spending hours on the included Horizons cassette decoding the key combinations needed to access all of the keyboard functions on my bedroom 14-inch black and white television, I learned of the Jetpack game through Crash magazine. Fantastic game by Ultimate Play the Game. Living in the west of Ireland at the time and unable to find in the local computer shop, I purchased Jetpack by mail order directly from Ultimate Play the Game in Ashby de la Zouch. It was the first of several mail orders I placed with the Ultimate games. For years following, Ultimate sent me posters of their own and other computer games, which subsequently adorned my walls. So these have all been sent by Ultimate Play the Game. What a piece of heritage and history. Amazing. You'll find remnants of various adhesives on the corners. From the Spectrum, I moved on to the Amstrad CPC 464, also fondly regarded by you, yes it is, and the 6128 until my first PC, which was a Packard Bell. We've had a very similar history. It really is a treat to relive those wonder years. Through you and your channel, your fondness for the tech days is evident in your dulcet tones. Do I give it away that much? How much I love this stuff. Wishing you all the best, take care. I realise the YouTube animal can be a hungry beast. Yours in retro. Declan Sweeney. So I'm going to keep that letter as well to go with it all. Wow, so these posters, let's go through some more of them. Pass through the offices of Ultimate Play the Game, who went on to become Rare, of course. Yeah, these need to go through the scanner, don't they? These need to be preserved. What a find these are. Those posters are fantastic. I've laid them all out to try and get them a bit flatter. I want to display them all, but I don't want, well, I haven't got the room to frame them all and have every single one up. So I was thinking, do you remember how you used to go to the shop and you would flick through the posters in the big frames and look at all the pop stars or whatever else they had in there? What if I could get one of those as part of the exhibition, so you can come and you can flick through all of these authentic posters, these and more, because I'm sure I've got boxes and boxes full of game posters that we can add to that. So you can have a real sort of art corner, maybe in the reading area. I don't know, it's an idea I'm formulating, and we'll see if we can find a solution to that so everyone can see them. You've been incredibly generous this month. I must say a quick sorry to the big box that had the Apple PowerBook G4 in there, because I don't know who it's from and I can't find any correspondence to say who it's from. I remember talking to them, but I just can't find the correspondence. So I'm really, really sorry, and I'll give you a big thank you if you reach out and give me a poke. And I say a big thank you in the next unboxing video. So sorry about that. There's one other thing. Look at these. These are really interesting. These were kindly sent to me by Matthew. These are Mastertronic software boxes. Now, you wouldn't have ever seen these unless you worked in a shop, because they're the boxes, I'm assuming they're the boxes that the cassette tapes were distributed in to go out to shops. You've got that iconic Mastertronic logo on there, iconic at least for us Brits. I don't think it would be recognised much further afield, maybe across Europe. But yeah, you wouldn't have seen these unless you worked in a shop. So these are really interesting and a nice thing to display. It's amazing that they still exist in some way. Thank you as always for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's extra bumper long episode and you enjoyed unboxing these things with me. As always, take care and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.